أنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير قالت الأعراب آمنا قل لم تؤمنوا ولكن قولوا أسلمنا ولما يدخل الإيمان في قلوبكم وإن تطيعوا الله ورسوله لا يلدكم من أعمالكم شيئا إن الله غفور رحيم إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا وجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم في سبيل الله أولئك هم الصادقون صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله.
Alhamdulillah, we are very fortunate that whenever we have requested our respected teacher, Hazrat Maulana himself, to come and to deliver a speech, Hazrat, without any exaggeration, every weekend he's somewhere. Scotland, Luton, London. And despite this, Hazrat always, he makes a way for our program. We are extremely fortunate and extremely grateful. We make dua that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of Hazrat's khidmat. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also benefit more.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulil karim. Amma ba'd. बिला तमहीद बयान स्टार्ट कर देते हैं। वैसे मौलाना इकबाल साहब से बात हो रही फरमा रहे थे कि आज का बयान तो जवानों के लिए है, बूढ़ों से कहिए कि जाइए घर आराम कीजिए, सो जाइए। मैंने कहा नहीं, इंशाल्लाह सबके लिए मुफीद बात होगी। ऐसे हकीकत है ये निकाह का बयान तो जवानों के लिए है, बूढ़ों के सामने निकाह की बात करेंगे तो घर जाकर प्रॉब्लम खराब हो जाएगा। ये मौलवी साहब दूसरी शादी की बात करते हैं, इस मौलवी साहब को नेक्स्ट टाइम बयान के लिए नहीं बुलाने का। Respected elders, brothers, friends, today's majlis is about nikah, importance of nikah, what to look for when you receive some proposal or when you want to propose, how to maintain a healthy married life, etc. पोस्टर के अंदर तो पता नहीं बहुत कुछ लिखा है। I was talking to Abu Bakr Sahab on the way and I said to him कि ये जितने सब्जेक्ट लिखे हैं ये एक घंटे में कवर नहीं हो सकते, इसके लिए पूरा दिन चाहिए। एक दिन का कोर्स करेंगे सुबह से शाम तक तो एक ही टॉपिक, बल्कि इसमें तो निकाह के साथ तलाक का टॉपिक भी कवर होना चाहिए। Because people don't know if something goes wrong, how to behave, and things do go wrong. तो उसमें भी फिर प्रोसीजर है, प्रोसेस है, तो
दूसरा बयान भी पक्का,
उसके लिए भी कुछ करना पड़ेगा इंशाअल्लाह। Today's talk is about nikah. First of all, we need to understand the importance of nikah. Right? Today, our youngsters don't understand that nikah is important. Many youngsters say, nah, I just want to live single life, I'm alright, I'm okay. I got my job, I got my money, I got my house, I'm relaxed. I want my career. Many girls say, I'm what is it? Kawaranduana, what do headache, I don't want that. I want my career. I want to climb the ladder, be a teacher, and then move on, be deputy head teacher, head teacher, go further, maybe go in other jobs. Allah knows best. And today, most girls work and they lose. And when they don't know how and where to spend the money, they go to see the Qatar World Cup. The young girls booked already their tickets. You don't know. हमको सब पता है, मोदी साहब को सब पता है. मोदी साहब बुद्धू नहीं. और
Ladies upstairs, yeah.
हैं?
Ladies be upstairs.
हाँ,
Inshallah, if I don't finish.
many girls with their mothers have booked their tickets for Qatar. Some have even got the tickets for final, semi-final, all England games. Why? Because they got too much money and they don't know what to do with it. So, many think that shadi is not important. I'm alright, I've got my job, I've got my money. Why should I get married? I don't want the headache. Sometimes, sad to say, parents also have that mentality. Money is. When the daughter comes home with money and Papa, after sofa no carpet nahi laki diye, jara room nahi karni hai, decorate karti hai, extension kar laki hai. We make an extension in the house, new carpet, new furniture, new this, new that. तो मम्मी पापा ने भी हाल डाल दिया, हाल हाल थी यार. बिल बड़ा भर दिए, all the bills and everything. तो बस क्या हुई मेरी बात नहीं करवा दे रहा, शादी न करा, शादी नहीं करा, बेचारी पूरी बेही दे करवा. Many cases we hear like this. When proposals come, they just keep rejecting. Oh, I'm not tempted. No, how he's not from our gam, our village. He's not from our area, and he's like this, he's like that. No, he's got bad reviews, and they just keep rejecting. And then there comes a time when proposals stop. Chap pad gayi. Stamp. When these people keep rejecting proposals, no point in sending proposals here. मसला खत्म. फिर रोते काश के पहले से प्रपोजल एक्सेप्ट कर लिया होता. एक बुजुर्ग, one बुजुर्ग went to one place and the hosts entertained them, did their khidmats of them, and then the host said, Hazrat, please pray for my daughter gets a proposal. And the buzuर्ग gave some du'as, etc., and something to read, whatever. And then he said, सबसे पहला जो प्रपोजल है जो मम्मी है उसको कबूल कर लेना, रिजेक्ट नहीं करना. Accept the first proposal that comes, not reject it. And they said okay. Now when the proposal came, they felt like rejecting it for some reason, and they said no. Hazrat had given this dua, and Hazrat's advice was accept the first proposal. So we accept it. We're not going to reject it for flimsy, small, minor objections. Accepted. Did the nikah. Alhamdulillah. Very nice proposal. They lived happily ever after. So you have to be, you have to be concerned in this matter. Nikah, don't look down upon nikah. Nikah is not something bad. People send videos in which they make fun of marriage. And slowly, our people are becoming like the Guriyas. You don't hear about Guriyas getting married. They just lead the single life. They have illegitimate children, haram relationship, zina. Allah forbid. कि हमारी कौम ऐसी न हो जाए. बस खरबूजे से रंग पकड़ता है. Color, when we stay in this society, the color affects us as well. Many of our youngsters are behaving like that. We hear stories of that type May Allah protect the haya, sharam, modesty of our young ones. So, the first thing to understand is nikah is something good, it's not something bad. Get that mentality out of your mind that nikah is bad and I don't want to get married and I don't want to stay in the married life. Nikah is good. If it was something bad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not order us in Quran Sharif. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would not order us in Hadith Sharif. Anything that is bad is prohibited. Right? The zina is bad, it's prohibited. Liwatat is bad, it's a sin. Sharab, drugs, gambling is bad, it's forbidden. Similarly, other things. But nikah is not only allowed, not only recommended, it's prescribed, it's instructed, it's commanded, it's ordered. وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تُقْسِطُوا فِي الْيَتَامَى فَانكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ مَثْنَى وَثُلَاثَ وَرُبَاعَ فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا فَوَاحِدَةً أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ ذَلِكَ أَدْنَى أَلَّا تَعُولُوا. आगे बैठो नमाज के लिए चले जाना, नो प्रॉब्लम साहब, बुजुर्गान में तो आगे होना चाहिए, तवज्जो डाले ना। जी अल्लाह ने क्या फरमाया, फनकिहू, फनकिहू क्या है, अम्र है, वल अम्रु लिल वुजूब, जब तक कि कोई करीने सारिफा न हो, फनकिहू हुक्म है, निकाह करो, डू निकाह, गेट मैरिड। وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ إِنْ يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاءَ يُغْنِهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ وَاللَّهُ وَاسِعٌ عَلِيمٌ وَلْيَسْتَعْفِفِ الَّذِينَ لَا يَجِدُونَ نِكَاحًا حَتَّى يُغْنِيَهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ وَالَّذِينَ يَبْتَغُونَ الْكِتَابَ مِمَّا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ فَكَاتِبُوهُمْ إن علمتم فيهم خيرا وآتوهم مما لله الذي آتاكم ولا تكرهوا فتياتكم على البغاء إن أردنا تحصنا لتبتغوا عرض الحياة الدنيا ومن يكرهن فإن الله من بعد إكراههن غفور رحيم ولا تنكحوا المشركات حتى يؤمنن ولأمة مؤمنة خير من مشركة ولو أعجبتكم ولا تنكحوا المشركين حتى يؤمنوا ولعبد مؤمن خير من مشرك ولو أعجبكم أولئك يدعون إلى النار والله يدعو إلى الجنة والمغفرة بإذنه ويبين آياته للناس لعلهم يتذكرون هو الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وجعل منها زوجها ليسكن إليها ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. Allah is saying nikah is good for you. निकाह करो, शादी वाली जिंदगी गुजारो। अल्लाह नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम कहा तज़व्वजू अलवदूद अलवलूद फ़इन्नी मुकासिरुम बिकुम लोगों, शादी करो, डू निकाह, अन्निकाह मिन सुन्नती फमन रग़िब अन सुन्नती फ़लैसा मिन्नी, निकाह is my way of life, whoever turns away from my way of life is not mine. Arba'un min sunanil mursaleen, 4 things sunnah of all Rasuls. Al-haya wa-ta'attur wa-siwak wa-nikah. Haya, sharm, modesty. Applying perfume, khushbu. Doing miswak. And doing nikah. Ya ma'ashar al-shabab, जवानों की जमात, Youth, young men, man istata'a minkum al-ba'ata falyatazawwaj. Young girls also included in there. Both. Huzur is addressing young men because they are in front of him. Young men, whoever among you has the ability to get married should get married. Why? فَإِنَّهُ أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ وَأَحْصَنُ لِلْفَرْجِ. Because it will help you in lowering your gaze better. And number two, it will help you in protecting your modesty. Guarding your modesty, chastity, private parts. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ. Whoever does not have the ability to do nikah, فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّوْمِ. He should hold on to roza, fast, continuously, keep rozas as much as possible. فَإِنَّهُ لَهُ وِجَى. Because this will help him in crushing his carnal desire, controlling his shahwat, excitement and passion. So we understand from here that nikah itself is something good for both genders, boys and girls. We also need to understand that nikah is the natural, fitri, natural way of life. The first man and first woman Allah created were married. Hazrat Adam, Hazrat Hawa alayhi salam started living together in Jannah after nikah. Allah didn't let them stay without nikah. Allah told them their nikah first and then they started living together. That is the natural way of life. If other people want to change the definition of marriage, they can change the definition of marriage, but nobody can change the definition of nikah. Nikah is an Islamic word and it is only between male and female. No same-sex nikah. You can have same-sex marriage, whatever they want to do. Islam nikah is from day one. As we say often, one Dr. Saab, I heard this from one Dr. Saab in America. And there was this bayan of this type. And he said, Maulana Saab, God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. I said, Dr. Saab, बहुत प्यारा कोट है, तुम्हें हमेशा बयान करूँगा. God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Eve. That is the natural way of life. Anything else you want to do, do it. You want to promote LGBT through World Cup Qatar, what you like. No objections. But don't come around brainwashing our children that this is allowed. And don't come into our schools and say, I've read the whole Quran, but I've never found anywhere that Ibadat is haram. My friend, are you Hafiz of Quran? No. Are you Alim of Quran? No. Have you read the whole Quran? No. How can you say, I've read the whole Quran, but this is haram? Right? How could you say that? I've read the whole Quran, but you haven't read it. One person could say, I've read the whole Quran, and show me somewhere where it says shirk is haram. Nowhere in the Quran says that shirk is haram. Find me an ayat which says shirku haram, al-kufru haramun. Give me one ayat. You can find the shirku haram, al-kufru haramun. Doesn't mean it has to be there that al-liwatatu haramun. Secondly, when you want to make this type of claim, you have to have full knowledge of that subject, as I'm saying, right? If someone was to say, I've studied the whole judiciary system, nowhere in the law does it say that this is not allowed. So we'll say then, right? They have lawyers, barristers, judges. They know what the judiciary system is. Your opinion is irrelevant. You don't know the ABCD of law. You don't know the ABCD of just judiciary system. How can you claim that there is nothing in the judiciary system which says this is no law? It's to the experts. They will say what that field is saying. They are the experts of that field. So don't fall for such notions. May Allah guide such people. May Allah protect our young ones from these types of things. When we understand that nikah is good, it's important, it's natural, fitri, and nikah in itself is sunnat. But sometimes nikah becomes wajib, and sometimes it becomes fard. In Al-Bahr al-Ra'iq, Sharh of Kanzul Daqa'iq, where the Musannif says, Al-Nikahu sunnatun wa inda tawqani wajib. Nikah in itself is sunnah, but when there is intense desire, it becomes wajib. Ibn Nujaym Misri Rahmatullah alayhi writes over there that when desire is intense and there is risk of falling into zina or fornication, then nikah will be wajib only. And if the person is already engaged in zina, then to avoid zina, nikah will be farz on him. Doesn't remain sunnah, nikah becomes farz on that person. You see the Sharif ruling with regards to nikah. Now, when we understand the importance of nikah, we need to understand number two, benefits of nikah. First benefit, Quran said, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. Both get sukoon from one another. Right? We might have our ups and downs, small fights here and there, but reality is both get lots of sukoon from one another. And in some cases, these small fights are good as well, because it keeps our blood pressure boiling and keeps us healthy. Sometimes the blood pressure should go up as well a little bit to being healthy. So, there is great sukoon in married life. Believe me. Until you don't get married, you won't find out what that sukoon is. Right? Our oldies, right? Sometimes they shout at the buddhi, and the buddhi shouts at them, but they love one another. Intense love. Right? Sheikh Salim Noor Hafizahullah in Leicester, there was a chacha who used to come and sit in his majlis. Chachi died. Chacha used to remember Chachi and cry a lot. 1 year passed, but Chacha could still not get the Chachi. And Maulana Salim Sahab also liked it. So when he comes to Maulana Salim Sahab majlis, sometimes Maulana Salim Sahab jara chabi maarte usko. Pin. Chacha kyun ji Chachi yaad aave? And tip 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 tip. He starts crying really like a baby, sobbing, tears falling down his cheeks. So Sheikh Salim Sahab said, wait, Chacha, she's passed away 1 year ago, and you still can't forget her. And Chacha said, Moli Sahab, mane be time garam garam roti khalawti ki maine kem bolu. She used to feed me fresh, hot chapati twice a day. How can I forget her? You see, that love, Muhammad, that dedication for one another, the khidmat. Khidmat is that you can never forget. You can never forget. You know, in life, we might have our ups, but we really get lots of sukoon from one another. Allah said, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. Ibn Qudama al-Maqdisi rahmatullah alayhi has written in Mukhtasar Minhaj al-Qasidin, where he mentions the fawaid of nikah. He said among the fawaid of nikah is tadbirul manzil, managing the affairs of the house. A single person cannot look after the house. If you go to someone's house who's single on his own, you'll find things here and there all over the place. It's hard to keep the house clean. It's ladies, they've been gifted. Allah has given them special gift. Jaldi jaldi, fatafat, within a few minutes, sab kuch tidy up kar denge. And we notice this when the wife goes to her parents' house for a few days. When she comes back, and she starts screaming, "Ah, kitno khaju karla ghar mein? Tu yahan par padelo je, pelu kitno pelu padu. Ah, kapda badaya hone wa padela je. Ah, washing machine bhi doilu nathi." Because it's his job. Allah has given them this skill. And Allah Pak created us men and women. Allah knows best who's got what ability. So the first benefit of getting married is sukoon. I will get sukoon in our life. You know, our youngsters, you won't settle down until you get married. You just wander around with your friends late at night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, shisha, coffee, here and there, running around, takeaways, desserts, and hanging around. And if you fall into the wrong company, maybe, nauzubillah, drugs, hard drugs, soft drugs, and your life is all over the place. You'll earn lots of money, but you'll waste it as well. Wife, सबसे बड़ी पीर है. Biggest pir. She'll do your Islam. Your parents can't do your Islam, but your wife will do your Islam. You will see many boys, you know, after nikah, mashallah, बराबर लाइन पे आ गए, नमाज़ भी आने लगी, दाढ़ी भी आ गई, माशाल्लाह, सूफी बन गए, बीवी नहीं थी, the बीवी ने इस्लाह कर दी. तो number 1 is सुकून मिलता है. Number 2, Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith, فَإِنَّهُ أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ. It keeps your gaze down. Because you have your wife to look forward to. Even if you go to work throughout the day, and at work, at job, at business, there might be girls flirting, wearing, you know, all types of stuff, and you get attracted. When you come home, you sleep with your wife, and you get sukoon. أغض للبصر. And next day when you go, you won't stare at them. Because you've fulfilled your need. So you won't be staring at them. And believe me, this is a lesson for the ladies as well. You know, if your husband approaches you, you should not do nakhre. Right? Nakhre mat karo. For refusing without any reason, rejecting, turning him away. That's not the right habit. Right? Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَلَوْ دَعَاهَا وَهِي عَلَى تَنُّورٍ لَكَانَ نَوْلُهَا أَن تَفْعَلَ. If she was cooking on the tannoor and he called her, then she should go. Now, the tannoor, you know, it took her time to get all the wood, light the fire. It's not like turning the gas on. Right? And she needed the dough. She was about to bake the bread, and suddenly he called her. Now the tandoor's, fire will die down. The atta which she has kneaded will go back. She won't be able to cook roti with it. But क्या करना है? ऊपर आवाज ना कान खोलो. अब आवाज देखिए. माइक्रोफोन को जीरो बढ़ाओ ना इसका वॉल्यूम यार. हाथ में पकड़ के बोलना, ये गंदा कौन पकड़े? सही. थोड़ी देर कोई नज़म पढ़नी हो 2 मिनट की तो पकड़ लिया. अब आवाज आ गई लेडीज को. अच्छा चलो माफ करना, सॉरी है. क्या कह रहा था मैं? वो तन्नूर. रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम. Why? Because he said, فَإِنَّهُ أَغَضُّ لِلْبَصَرِ. And you know, this desire for the other person is like itching, scratching. If you feel like scratching, you have to scratch instantly. If you say, I'll scratch myself later, you won't get around. It'll keep burning. So if you scratch it straight away, then you get relief. Similar is the desire for the other party. And when the desire is there, you should oblige. This is what's in the hadith. This is why Prophet ﷺ is Ajib. Our deen is amazing. This is why he said, Aghaddu lil basar. In fact, Nabi Prophet ﷺ said this in qawli hadith, fa'li hadith as well. If you see a woman and she pleases you, Nabi Prophet ﷺ said, go to your own wife. Because she has a body similar to the body of the one you looked at. You know, they're not different. They're both human beings. They're not from another category, another creature. Right? They're both same. فَإِنَّ مَعَهَا مِثْلَ الَّذِي مَعَهَا. He instructed this to the Sahaba. And one hadith fi'li as well. He was going somewhere. He was a human being. His eyes fell on someone. He instantly came home. And his wife was doing some work. She was cleaning some, leather hide, skin. And he called her over. So, she went behind the curtains and Nabi Pak fulfilled his need with her. And then he had his shower, came to the masjid, and he told the Sahaba, this is what. So how pleasant life. You don't need to frustrate yourself. You don't need to hold that in. This is why we say, second benefit Huzur said, Ahsanu lil farj. Sharamgah mahfuz rehti hai. And for this, we have to get our youngsters married quickly. घर में उनको बिठाए मत रखो. In our olden days, we used to get married very quickly. 16, 17, 18, settle down. Last time I went to India, before COVID, I went to Surat city, and one friend said to me, Maulana Sahab, dua kar do, main puri look gayi thi jai. Please make dua, I get some proposals for my daughter. She settles down. And inshallah, I'll do. I thought she might be very old. So I asked, how old is she? And he said, she's 16. मैं चौंक गया. मैंने कहा अभी तो 16 साल की और आपको इतनी फिक्र. कहाँ मर्सा, हमारे यहाँ तो जल्दी शादी करा देते हमारे इलाके में. जल्दी फटाफट सेट कर देते. और यहाँ हम लोग बिठाए रखते हैं. डिग्री, this, that, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30 साल की बच्चियाँ हो जाती हैं. 32, 34, 32, 34, and they're still at home. So we have to get our youngsters married quickly. Same on the boys' side as well. Another point we need to think is, our youngsters should get married within our circle. Don't go to Morocco and get someone from there. The Moroccans can marry the Moroccans. If we go and get from there, who's going to marry our girls? Where are our girls going to go? Did they go to Morocco to get a man as well? No. Hazrat Umar was informed that Hazrat Huzaifa has married a woman from Ahl Kitab. So Hazrat Umar instantly wrote a letter to him that, look, I'm not saying Ahl Kitab haram, I don't want to go down that topic, but before you finish reading my letter, divorce your wife. Because you are a leader of the community. If you marry them, then others will also marry them. Then what will happen to our girls? Who's going to marry our girls, our women? Hazrat Umar wrote this. Same for us as well. We should get married. If we can get married in our hometown, it's better. If you go to Malegaon people only marry in Malegaon. They don't go outside. And every Friday, every girl goes to her parents' house. Their culture. We get married close by. It's good. Sukoon, peace of mind. Also, another problem within our society is we don't want to get married in cousins, in household. Nah, ये तुम्हारा भाई था, ये तुम्हारी बहन था, तुम्हारे की शादी करो. This is also wrong. he or she is not a real brother or real sister. They're cousins. Though you grew up together, but Shariat has said that you are allowed to get married, then why refuse? If it's within household, mama, foya, chacha, chachi, it's good. Believe me, it's good. Don't think it's bad. We live in a society where we have some comedians who make fun of this type of marriage. Don't watch those comedy shows. We also have some who say if you get married with cousins, then you get diseases, bimari, sicknesses in your genes, and both sicknesses and diseases come out in genes that passes on. And they give examples, so and so, nagarma uthailu. But that's a rare case. Have you not seen our elders? Most of our elders were married within families. And they had children, all healthy, alhamdulillah, mashallah, nothing wrong. And on the other side, do you not see families, youngsters who are married outside family, but their children have illnesses? Maybe Allah gives shifa, Down syndrome, Edward syndrome, this syndrome, happens. So bimari is from Allah. If this marriage was something reprehensible, makruh, disliked, Allah would not have allowed it. Allah knows better. He is our creator. He knows that incest, siblings, is not right. It's haram, it's no good. This is why He forbade it. He forbade nikah with mahrams. But outside mahram, He said, yes, you can go outside mahram. So don't think that marrying cousin is wrong. No, it's good. It's good if you get married to your cousin. You know each other's mentality. You know how to interact with one another. If something goes wrong, both your parents will sit down and make things good better. You live close by, you can, relax, go to each other's homes, right? And have a good life. In Bolton, Haji Sahib from Pakistan. He's married to his khala's daughter. So both mothers are sisters, and when their husbands died, right, both ladies were living in Haji Sahib's house. One is Haji Sahib's mother, the other is his wife's mother. One is his khala, the other is her khala. And both looking after both elderly ladies. One reached nearly the age of 100. And towards the end, she, bichari, had a little bit of dementia as well. But Haji Sahib lost him, khala, until she died. Now this was because both were khalas. In old age, it was easy for both of them to look after their both parents. Imagine how much reward they both got for looking after their mothers. This life is not everything. Life after death is everything. Our sawab, our reward, everything is in the hereafter. This life is temporary. Why just think on this temporary life? Why not look beyond onto the next world? So this is one thing we need to understand. And in fact, this reminds me of one hadith which Mullah al-Khari rahmatullah quoted in the Sharh Mishkat. Man tazawwaja imra'atan lam yurid biha illa an yaghudda basarahu wa yuhsina farjahu wa yasila rahimahu barakallahu lahu fiha wa baraka laha fihi. Whoever marries a girl and his intention is only to lower his gaze, protect his private part, and join his relations, yasila rahimahu. Because my dad said, marry my niece. My mom said, marry my niece. Okay, mom. Okay, dad. You're saying, I'm happy. No problem. You did it to keep your parents happy. You did it to join relationship. So your dad and your, his sister, they can both be happy. Your mom and her sister, her brother, your mama, your fuaji, your chacha can be happy. You did it to join relationship. Allah's Nabi is giving you dua. Barakallahu lahu fiha wa barakallahu fihi. Allah will give you barakat. to both one another, to the girl as well and to the boy as well. And then this is about fawaid al-nikah. Now, sometimes there are some ills within the society which we need to get rid of. One of the ills that has developed in our society is the delay and separation between mangni, nikah and rukhsat. Where you go to see, and then there's things going on back and forth, and then mangni. And then they say, oh, nah, you do take pade, study kare, and 1 વર્ષ પછી nikah. હવે nikah થઈ ગયા પછી કે 6 મહિના પછી rukhsat. I always say this is against sunnah. This is against sunnah. If you start your life doing something against sunnah, can you gain any success in there? You will only gain success if you follow sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what is his sunnah? What is the sunnati mutawaritha? Continuous sunnah. Ta'amul, tawaruth of the whole ummah, 1400 years. What have our elders been doing? That mangni patviya, pat rukhsati. Mangni hui abhi, foreign nikah, foreign rukhsati. धड़ाधड़ सब काम फौरन होते थे. नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम 11 nikahs. Besides 1 nikah of Hazrat Aisha, all nikahs in this way. अभी मंगनी निकाह हुआ, शागात औसत भी दूसरे दिन वही हुआ. That's the sunnah way. With Hazrat Aisha, the verbal contract was done when she was 6. But rukhsati was not done. When she grew up, her period started, she was a woman. She was no longer a girl. That's when her parents did her rukhsati. So that delay was for a particular reason. Otherwise, all the other 10 nikahs, foreign mangni, foreign rukhsati, and he himself did that with the Sahaba as well. And in Muslim Sharif, no one in details, the Abbas and one of Banu Hashim told their sons, go to Prophet Sallallahu, he's sending people to get zakat money, and send you as well to do some work on zakat, and then you can get some money and get you married. Hazrat Ali Karamallah said, don't send them with zakat money, he won't send them other people. That job, zakat money is not allowed for Banu Hashim. And they said, oh, you're only jealous. I'm not jealous, I'm telling the truth. Go on, send them. So they sent them. They went to pray namaz with the Prophet. When Prophet was going into the house, they forgot him because they were Banu Hashim. So Prophet allowed them, went in the house, and then he said, Khadija want to son river. Who said, Daddy can do that? Those people here. What's going on? What's in your heart and mind? And they said, Ya Rasulullah, you're sending people out for collecting zakat. We need some job as well. We have now, reached the age of marriage. So without money, we can't get married. So please give us some job there so we can get some money and get married. So Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam lowered his head and kept thinking, contemplating. Ummul Mu'mineen gestured from behind the curtains. Keep quiet. He'll say what he wants to say. Then he lifted his head and he said, what you said is right. You've reached the age of marriage and you should get married. However, this mal of zakat is not allowed for the Hashim, so I can't give you a job to go and earn that and then take from there. However, I will provide for you. He called upon someone. He said, go and call Raheem managers and go and call so and so. And he said, you got your daughter who's got reached the age of marriage, marry him, this Father Ibn Abbas. And your daughter, marry her to him. And your daughter, marry her to him. And then he said, give their mahr from the khums in which there is haqq of Baytul Mal and give so and so much to their husband. Wahi par he did the nikah and nikah is done and the mahr is paid as well and rukhsati is done and gift is given to them, fund. बताओ वो तो गई नहीं जॉब लेने के लिए पढ़ाई भी लेकर. This is the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we are here delaying for no reason. You know, sometimes we say that she's still studying, he's still studying, he has to finish their studies. This reminds me of something which Maulana Qasim Ingar Sahab said in Canada, Toronto, Scarborough. He said, but you say he or she is still studying, can't get married. But my experience is, even if they're studying, if you get them married, they will get better grades. Why? Because their mind will be focused on their studies. If they're not married, they go to school, they see girls, the mind is boggled all the time, they're in confusion all the time. If they're married, they come home, and the girl is a little bit, and she'll help with the coursework and with typing and with this and that, and they can have a relaxed life. And now this comes to some of the things, other things we ask for in our society. घर जो है, जॉब जो है, मर्सिडीज गाड़ी जो है, वेल सेटल्ड हो जो है. Is that what Islam teaches? You just heard here, these two young men, these are very, हुजूर ने पट निकाला. All you need is private bedroom for your son. बस एक कमरा है उसके लिए. You can share the sitting room, you can share the kitchen, you can share the rest of the house. Only one private room for the girl. And girls listening upstairs, please, Mao Behno, simplicity. Be simple. Simplicity. Hadith said, Al-Bazazatu min al-Iman. Being simple is part of Iman. If you're simple, you're a great mu'min, you're a great believer. Lead a simple life. Don't look for all this stuff. Right? If you get it, no problem. But if you don't, no problem. Allah will give. Get married quickly. Jaldi jaldi. So, all these things are not important. This brings us to the subject of what to look for. What to look for in a woman? Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, تُنْكَحُ الْمَرْأَةُ لِأَرْبَعٍ لِمَالِهَا وَلِجَمَالِهَا وَلِحَسَبِهَا وَلِدِينِهَا فَاظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرِبَتْ يَدَهَا. A woman is married for one of four reasons. Sometimes because she is loaded, her parents are wealthy. This was the mentality of Yahud. They always looked for money. They only give their daughter where there's money. Wali jamaliha, beauty. They only marry a girl who's beautiful, a boy who's beautiful, good looking. This was the habit of Nasara, Christians. Wali hasabiha, hasab, sharafat, nobility. This was the habit of Mushrikeen Makkah, Quraysh. They were racists. They only married inside their, hasab and good lineage and good nasab and good character and position in society. And walideen, this is for Muslims. Deen. Huzur said, Fadfar bidati deen. Get the woman who is deendar, neek, saleh, pious, parhezgar, muttaqi. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in another place, Mastafad al-mu'min ba'da taqwa Allahi azza wa jal khayran lahu min imra'atin salihah in nadhara ilayha sarratu wa in amaraha ata'atu wa in aqsama alayha abarratu wa in ghaba anha hafizatu fi nafsiha wa malihi. The best thing a person can get after taqwa is a pious woman. Pious woman. Who is a pious woman? Four things. If you look at her, she makes you happy. If you tell her to do something, she does it. If it was really hard and you said, Allah ne custom, you will have to do it, she won't break your custom, she'll do it. And if you are absent, she looks after herself and looks after your money. That's a pious. What's the first thing? If you look at her, she makes you happy. This is not the outer happiness, good looks, the inner beauty. Inside of her is beautiful. An Urdu poet said, Husn सूरत आरजी और हुस्न सीरत मुस्तकिल, इससे खुश होती हैं आंखें, उससे खुश होता है दिल. Outer beauty is temporary. As soon as she ages, she gets a few kids, the beauty is gone. But the inner beauty is permanent. The first beauty makes your eyes happy, but the second beauty makes your heart happy. In another area, Yahya ibn Aqsam was not very good looking, but his wife was gorgeous, beauty queen, extremely pretty. One day, Yahya ibn Aqsam was sitting, she was sitting there, both looking at one another, and he smiled. And she was very smiling. He said, because I thought that you and I, both of us, are Jannatis. And she said, how can you say that? And he said, because Allah has given me such a beautiful wife like you. And you do lots of my khidmat, you look after me. You got both beauties, outer beauty and inner beauty. And every time I look at you, I do shukr of Allah, alhamdulillah, wa shukrulillah. Allah will give me such a nice wife. Such a khidmat guzar wife. A shakir is Jannat. Whoever does shukr will go in Jannat. So I will go in Jannat because I'm always doing Allah's shukr. And you will go in Jannat because every time you look at me and my ugly face, you must be biting your teeth and getting angry in the heart. And you're doing sabr with me. You're always doing sabr. And Sabir is Jannati. Shakir and Sabir, both Jannati. I will go to Jannat because of shukr, you will go to Jannat because of sabr. This is the pleasant life between a husband and a wife. In another area, Sarrat. And then Amaraha heart. When the husband tells her to do something, she does it. Hazrat Maulana Qasim Nanotbi Rahmatullah, his wife, was very nice, very khidmatguzar. And Hazrat Maulana Qasim Nanotbi was very generous. He used to get lots of guests. And he used to say, Hamari sakhawat Umme Ahmad ka sadqa hai. My generosity is the good management of Ahmad, my wife. Because whenever Hazrat used to say, we've got some mehmans, cook some food, her first question would be, how many mehmans? If there's 5 mehmans, she would only cook for 5 people. She wouldn't overcook, otherwise the food would go to waste. And if the food is going to waste all the time, then we'll become fakir, pauper, kangal. She wouldn't undercook either. Just enough for 5 people. And he only has to say it once, and the food is ready. These are our ladies before. Yesterday, someone sent me something nice on WhatsApp. Made me laugh. This person told his, in the olden days, in Sarhadi area, Pakistan, they used to make in some areas exact identical same houses, like they have flats. So they have same houses. So this person, when they came to his house, told his wife, because some mehmans coming, I'm going out to work in the field, KD farming, and can you prepare some food for them? She said, okay, I will prepare. Now he came a little bit early in the evening or afternoon. He went inside the house, and his wife was sleeping, and And there was nothing good, no smelling of food or anything, and smell khushbu of food or anything. He had staff in his hand, and he gave her one too from over the quilt which she was wearing. At time, darling, I told you to move food, and Mehmans are going to come now, and there's nothing here, what's going to happen? He got really angry. And then he went into the kitchen, and he noticed that this is a different kitchen. Oh, Papa, he went to the neighbor's house. He ran out. And went to his own house. And the food was ready, everything is prepared. And now, next day, whenever he sees his neighbor, he changes his road. And he kept avoiding the neighbor for 2 days, 3 days, 5, 6, 7, a week passed by. Then he found some courage. He went to his neighbor's house. No. And he said, I've come to ask for Masjid. What Masjid? He said, this happened, yeah. When did he go home? We get oh, upset me. And now I realize, understand. My wife being in the kitchen, mashallah, food. I was wondering what was the behavior. So, get quiet, don't say anything. Anyway, this is the joke. You shouldn't do that. There's a somewhere Pakistani India where someone is. Wife beating is not allowed, and he says, La tadribal wajh. Then, وإن أقسم عليها برته وإن غاب عنها حفظته في نفسها ومالي. This is what to look for in a woman. What to look for in a boy. إذا خطب إليكم من ترضون دينه وخلقه فزوجوه إلا تفعلوه تكن فتنة في الأرض وفساد عظيم. When you get a proposal from a person who has two things, let him marry. If you don't do it, there will be fitna and widespread fasad and corruption on the earth. And we are witnessing that. The two things are deenahu wa khuluqahu. The young man is dinar, is pious, is religious, is namazi, is neek. Right? If he is hafiz, bonus, alim, extra bonus. But first thing should be, dindar, pious. Sometimes a person is hafiz alim but not dindar, far away from deen. Sometimes the boy is not hafiz alim, he is tablighi. He is murid of Shaykh Salim Doratsa. And he is not alim, but he is neek, pious. He is the first in the masjid. And mashallah praying behind Imam Sahib. So deen is most important. Right? And number two is akhlaq. Is what good akhlaq, good behavior, good manners. Right? He is generous, not stingy. He is bahaya and modest, not pisharam. Right? And whatever good akhlaq manners, right? You find that out. Check his friends out. What's his friend circle? And in this day and age, Facebook account. Who's his friends? What's he posting on his account? TikTok. What's he doing on TikTok? On social media. Check him out, check her out. You'll know what type of person they are. And it happens. I got this case some time ago. And one rishta was fixed. But then the boy went on the girl's Facebook account and he found some galat salat friendships and some, I don't know what. And he said to his father, Papa, you shocking, look at this. I can't marry her. She's got this and she's been doing this and she's been doing that. And he said, no, cancel. So his father phoned him, Sahab, I don't put him on me, thinking, Sharbat piwa yud, I don't want to hogi. But it's not your life, it's his life. If he's not happy, just do what he says. Because you don't want to keep him in that trap forever. He'll keep cursing you. Listen to him. Or cancel kar diya or no? Because she has done something, some wrong things, maybe zina, vina, something like that. So how can we say, okay, this is another point over here, right? That, what to avoid. what to avoid. Number one thing to avoid is fisq and fujur. Don't think, oh, she's bad, but it's alright. She's not wearing hijab or anything, displaying her body outside, but I'll make her wear hijab. He's bad, but I'll make him good. He's a druggie, but I'll get him off drugs. No, right? The fisq and fujur is yaqeen. And the salah and taqwa is only zanni, possible. So don't ignore the certainty for what is possible. Right? Look, if there is fisq, fujur there, then try your best to avoid it. Why do you want to get into someone's life who's already a fasiq fajir? And they could go back to their old habits. चलो कुछ टाइम के लिए ठीक हुए फिर चले गए. The other day, I met a friend who got married to a Ghanaian new Muslim. Now, he came, I asked him, "Kya chala?" I said, "I told you. I'm divorced." I said, "Okay, what happened?" I said, "What's up?" She was having an affair with 2 people behind my back. I said, "Kya apna baal paki Musliman nahi hudi? Naam Muslim namaz to aap padti thi." He said, "She might not be a proper Muslimah." And he said, "No, she was a proper Muslimah. She used to pray all 5 namaz, she used to wear hijab and everything. But because in her earlier life she had a habit of sleeping with multiple people, she couldn't let go of that habit." So sometimes this happens. You have to be really careful. If there is some fisq fujur present, then don't think I'll make everything right. Number 2, second thing to avoid is, bad temper, arrogance, bad habits, stinginess. If you know these things, then the bad temper, arrogance, stinginess, bad habits, jabal gardat, jibillat na gardat, hard to get rid of. So check that out properly. And number 3, one of the things, bad habits to avoid is nashur. We read in Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam story, غَيِّرْ عَتَبَةَ بَابِكَ. Ibrahim alayhi salam came to check, and the wife complained a lot. So Ibrahim alayhi salam said, when your husband comes back in the evening, tell him to change this threshold of the door, the frame of the door. The frame is not too good. So when he came back, she told him, and he said, the frame of the door is you, Khuda Hafiz. Nashukri is a bad habit. Check this out. Bad habit should be avoided. This is what to look for. We can go into subject a little bit more. Hazrat Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahib has in Takmile Fatul Mulhim mentioned 10 things to look for in a woman. But I don't have time for that, no reading yet. Look in Takmile Fatul Mulhim and you will read it there. Main things I've covered over here. Rights. In today's program, on the poster, what are the rights of husband and wife? 3 rights of wife. Many rights, summarize them into 3. Nafqa, sukna, kiswa. 4 नहीं हो रहा है, जरा बड़ा इन पानी नहीं गया है. नफका, सुकना, किसवा. हो गया. नफका, all her expenses. This means the wife should not be forced to work. She should be the queen of the house. Aram se relax, sleep, how you mother. It's the husband's duty to go, earn the daily bread, provide for the wife. Nafqa is on the husband. لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما should spend from his wealth on the wife. If the husband is poor, he should spend from whatever Allah has provided. The wife knew that he's not so well off, so she can't make demands later on. You accepted him as he is, stay with him. In fact, if the wife can support him, that will be added bonus, virtue. She can. If she's got a job, he doesn't, she should help him. Huh? We get cases where the wives of the Sahaba used to help the Sahaba. Abdullah ibn Masud, radiyallahu anhu. This is in Bukhari Sharif. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged sadaqah. So, Abdullah ibn Masud's wife Zainab was also in that gathering. She came home and she took some money and she was going out. So Abdullah ibn Masud said, where are you going? I'm going out to give sadaqah. Sadaqah to whom? To the poor people. And he said, give it to me. So you are my husband. You are my sawab. He said, if you give it to me, you will get double sawab. And she said, is that true? And no, I'm going to give it to you. Relax, Rasulullah. Okay, go and ask. So she came. And over here at the door of Rasulullah, there was another woman. She came for the same question. So they both were scared to go inside. Hazrat Bilal was there. He said, Bilal, can you ask this question? And don't tell him who I am. Bilal went. And Rasulullah, there's two women out the door. They're asking this question. And Rasulullah asked, who are they? He said, there's one woman from among the Ansar. I don't know, can't recognize. But there's the wife of Ibn Masud. And there's Zainab. So he asked, which Zainab? I use Zainab. And he replied, Bilal replied, Imratu Abdullah ibn Masud. And Rasul smiled. And then he said, yes, tell them, she will get double reward. Ajru sadaqa wa ajru qaraba. Giving sadaqah sawab and joining relationships, sila rahmi sawab as well. So she came back and gave that money to Abdullah ibn Masud. So, if ladies are earning, they can spend on their husbands and they will get double sawab, sawab of sadaqah as well and sawab of joining relations as well. The only thing you can't give to one another, husband's wife, is zakat. Zakat in mafruda, you have to give someone else. Besides that, sadaqah nafila can be given to one another. And husband, hatta ma taj'alu fi fibratik. The morsel luqma you put in your wife's mouth is a sadaqah. On both sides, you have opportunities of sadaqah. Today, when you go home, अपनी बीवी के मुंह में लुक़मा डाल और उसको कहना तू मेरे मुंह में एक लुक़मा डाल, दोनों को सदके का सवाब मिलेगा, है ना? और जिनकी शादी नहीं हुई है वो इसके मुंह में लुक़मा देंगे, उनको कहेंगे जल्दी शादी करो ताकि ये सदके का सवाब तुम्हारा चालू हो जाए। अरे सिर्फ मुंह में लुक़मा देने में सदका नहीं है, जिमा करने में भी सदके का सवाब। In the same hadith, وَفِي بُضْعِ أَحَدِكُمْ صَدَقَةٌ. When you have sex with your wife, you get sawab of sadaqah. Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, yati ahaduna shahwatahu wa yakunu lahu fiha ajrun. Are we fulfill our shahwat and we get sawab? And he said, yes. أَفَرَأَيْتُمْ إِذَا وَضَعَهَا فِي الْحَرَامِ وَكَانَ عَلَيْهِ وِزْرٌ فَكَذَلِكَ إِذَا وَضَعَهَا فِي الْحَلَالِ كَانَ لَهُ أَجْرٌ. Tell me, if he did this in a haram way, zina, would he get guna or not? Would she get guna or not? Yes, Ya Rasulullah. Well, if they did it in a halal way, they will get ajr. So in nikah and sleeping with your wife, you get ajr and sawab. My dear young friends, boys and girls, you're missing out on that ajr and sawab of sadaqah. Get married quickly. These are few guidances. And how to maintain healthy relationship, right? First of all, love is very important, right? If the love goes out from your heart, then the tires are punctured. If the tires get punctured, the car will be stuck. Come on. Don't let your muhabbat and love for one another fade away from your hearts. Now, love can vary, ups and downs, like the ship which is sailing in the ocean. Sometimes waves will come as well. Sometimes cool, nice breeze will come. Sometimes the sea will be smooth, right? So, same is the case of our lives. We have our ups and downs. We go, sometimes, we are in a very nice, loving, caring mood. Other times we are down. And sometimes you get complaints, I want to divorce my wife. Why? I've got no feelings for her. And she says, I've got no feelings for him. Why? Why you become a slave of your feelings? Are you a slave of your feelings? Feelings are inside, they come up and go, they are relative. You don't succumb and fall for your feelings. You have to look at the broader picture. Commitment is something, dedication is something. You committed yourself to one another, so keep up that commitment. Sayyidina Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu. Once someone came, Sheikh Yunus, someone came to Sayyidina Umar and said, I want to divorce my wife. Why? I don't like her, that's why I want to divorce her. And Sayyidina Umar said, no, you can't divorce her just because you don't like her. ما كل البيوت تبنى على المحبة. Not every household is based on muhabbat. Sometimes you have to show some dedication as well. So where is that commitment and dedication? You have to stay with her. Just because you got no feelings for her, you can't let her go. And what is the opposite of love? Hate. Never let hate creep into your heart. If you have an argument, upar se, zabani argument, don't let that argument enter your heart. If it goes into the heart, your ship will sink. If the water comes inside the ship is going to sink. If hatred comes in the heart, your marriage is gone. ऊपर से फाइट हो, फिर शाम को फिर मेकअप कर लिया, बेड में दोनों साथ सो गए, मिस्त्री कर ली, मामला खत्म. लेकिन वो हेट्रेड नहीं करेगा. There is one hadith in Mishkah Sharif. لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة إن كره منها خلقا رضي منها آخر. No mu'min should hate a mu'mina. If he dislikes one of her habits, he will like some other habits. Create a balance. Right? If she is arguing, talking a lot, but then she's given birth to your kids, she cooks the food very nice, she keeps the house clean, she washes the clothes, she irons your clothes. So you have to create a balance. I read a very nice English quote wherein it says, to our virtues be very kind. To our virtues, उसमें जो खूबियाँ हैं उसको बहुत appreciate करना. To our virtues be very kind. To her faults be a little blind. To her faults be a little blind. उसमें कोई खामियाँ हैं तो अंधे बन जाना, जैसे तुमने देखा ही. Hatim Asam, he was not really Asam, deaf. So what happened was, once he was passing by somewhere, someone, made fun of him. He called him, hey, come here. You need help. So he saw somebody is in need of help inside, and there was a man and woman, enjoying themselves. And he saw that, and they also noticed that the stranger has come in. So he closed his eyes. Oh bhai, where am I? I can't see anything, I can't hear anything. And they were relaxed, they thought, oh, and so they took his hold of his hand and put him outside, and he left. And from then on, he always pretended to be deaf, as though he can't hear anything. That's why he was given title Hatim al-Asam. So sometimes you have to become deaf, you have to become blind, just for the sake of things. The code is saying to our faults be be a little blind. Don't look at her faults. Overlook them. Ignore them. She's your wife. Same, both ways. These guriyas, sometimes you can learn from them. Al-hikmatu dhalatul mu'min. Wisdom is the lost property of a mu'min. Ittakhadha haysuma wajada. Take it from wherever you get. I read somewhere that this old lady was interviewed. You've been married for 60 years. You know, how did you manage to stay with one another for 60 years, very long? And she replied, because whenever he got angry upon me, I just listened and listened and listened and let him finish. And then I got up, I went in the kitchen, and then I made him a nice cup of coffee and his best cookie or biscuit or whatever, and then put it on the table. And he would say, "You're not hungry with me, are you?" I said, "No, I'm not hungry." And the interviewer said, "Really, you weren't hungry?" He said, "Yeah, I'm not a hypocrite. Really, deep down my heart, I wasn't hungry with him. I knew that he's had a hard day. He's been to work 9 till 5, and he's got lots of problems there and running around, and he's had a hard day. So he came, he got a little frustration out on me, so I let him take everything out. And then I brought him his favorite cup of coffee and cookie and whatever biscuit and everything. And then he also calmed down himself and he apologized and he said, "Sorry." I said, "Lord, I shouldn't have said that to you." And if something happened and I got angry, he would do the same. He would just sit there and listen. And when I would finish my napping, he would go in the kitchen and get me something nice, place it to me. I would ask him the same question, "You're not hungry with me?" And he would say, "No, I'm not hungry with you." And he said, because of this, our marriage is, alhamdulillah, our marriage has survived. You have to have that in you. You have to understand one another. You know, as men, your responsibility will be more than the woman. To understand this, there's a very nice book out there. Men are from Mars and women from Venus. I've read it. मैंने पढ़ा है इस किताब। उसमें लिखा है कि men and women are from different planets. They don't understand one another. Right? When the man comes home after work, hard day of work, and you know, if he starts screaming, shouting something, then the woman should understand that it's happened at work, and let things be. When we were studying, one of our ustad would sometimes be very angry in the morning, in the first lesson. लड़के उसने कहते अरे मुझसे घर में लड़ाई करने आ गए मौल साहब से तो फाइट है तुम भी आज ये नाउ डोनस and on the other side, if the man comes home and the woman starts nagging, "Oh, you come so late from work, there's no oil, there's no nappies, and this is a problem, I've got a very hard day with the kids, and then been doing my head in," then the husband shouldn't get angry. And he should, "Oh, I don't know, just listen. Because she's not trying to take everything out on you. In the book is written, she only wants a little bit of your sympathy. That's all she wants. So if you show her a bit of sympathy, yeah, they can be right here, you've had a hard day. I know the kids are too, a handful and you must have had a bad day. No problem. I'm sorry. No problem. We'll get the nappies. No problem. We'll get the oil for you. Maulana Ibrahim Badal Sahib narrates that in the Jamia Hussainiya Nadir, there was their Ustad Maulana Ghulam Rasul Bolsari Sahib Rahmatullah. So once Maulana Ghulam Rasul Bolsari Sahib came home, and now look, the ulama and asatiza over there, their wages at that time were not too high. They were surviving just on whatever was available. So one day he came home and his wife was crying. And he asked, Begum, kya hua? What happened? And he said, वो तेल का पीपा है ना वो गिर गया और सारा तेल बह गया और ये क्या होगा अब ये सारा तेल, the oil drum, somehow it fell and all the oil went down the drain, it's wasted. What's going on? And Mawlana Ghulam Rasul said, अरे बेगम ये भी कोई रोने की चीज है, अरे तुझ पर पीपा के पीपा कुर्बान. Begum, this is not something to cry on. You know, drums and drums of oil are qurban and sacrifice for you. We'll get more drums. Why are you worried about it? And this just cheered her up. And all her worry and gham and fikr just faded away. So, when this happens, all she needs is a little bit of sympathy. You have to learn that. Don't start arguing with her. And especially, no wife beating. And especially in this environment, in this country, obey the law of the land. Don't be a jahil. Don't start beating your wife up. Hadith says, La tadrib al-wajh. Don't hit her on the face. Another hadith said, La tajiduna ulaika khiyarakum. Those who hit their wives will not be the best among you. Okay. In another hadith, Umm-ul-Mu'minin Aisha radiyallahu anha said, ما ضرب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بيده شيئا قط ولا خادما ولا امرأة. He had 11 wives, but he never ever lifted his hand on any of the wives. Don't hit your wife. It could get you into trouble. Consequences could be really hard. Lives could be shattered. Kids could be, gone. They could be taken away from you. Why fall into that risk? Control your anger. If she makes you angry, just go outside for a fresh air. Go for a stroll in the park, have a fresh air, calm down, and then come back in the house. Or Hadith teaches you how to control your anger. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Go in the, on the sink and do wuzu with cold water. Move away from that place. Go in the other room. Sit in the other room. Cooperate with one another. Right? So, and if you happen to say something, don't say bad words. Don't say swear, abuse. Especially, don't swear at your in-laws. Right? If you have a scale, don't put yourself, your wife, in one scale and your in-laws in the other scale. Keep them both in the same scale. They are your in-laws. Right? कभी भी अपने ससुर सास को गाली नहीं देनी, बुरा नहीं कहने का. Don't say तारी माँ आ गई था, बाप आ गया, भाई आ गया, आपकी फैमिली ने बच्चा मारा, चोर ने, बदमाश ने, नाले ने, गुंडा ने, गुंडा मार दी, गुंडा मारा गुंडा आ गई. आज के मेरा शादी नहीं करेगी. This type of behavior, Hadith said, لا تقبح. Don't say qabih and ugly words. Control your tongue. Right? This reminds me, in nikah majlis, we did 3 ayats. Okay? One of the ayat is, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah wa qulu qawlan sadida. Fear Allah and say the appropriate words. Don't say anything inappropriate. وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا يُصْلِحْ لَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. And then finally, now closing, if some arguments do happen, right, then there are ways of sorting them out, right? And the final way which Quran has mentioned is, well, let me say the first one. فَإِذُوهُنَّ. Sit down, talk about it. Become, no problem. Something is wrong. And sort it out immediately. It might be something or nothing. She might have felt a little bit bad. But when you explain to her, she says, sorry, I don't tell you. Right?
And if she has something, she should say to the husband, why are you behaving in this manner? Let's sort it out. Talk among yourself. Don't let things go out of your bedroom, out of your house. Keep it within yourself. If you involve your parents, his parents, her parents, family, others, and you scream about it in the whole house, if it's Imam Sahib and you tell the whole community and everyone, you're going out of your limit. No, keep it among yourself. And if you feel that she's not getting on track, then Quran says, "Wahjuruhunna fil madaj." Unka bistar chhod do, leave their bistar, sleep in another room, sleep on another bed, right? And she will realize, oh, Mara, why did he do this? And she will say, oh, sorry, my mistake. And when she apologizes, she should accept her apology. Okay, no problem, finish it, forget it. And then after that, don't keep repeating that for years and years. 1995 movie, 2000 movie, forget, forgive and forget. Fa'fu wasfahu hatta yati Allahu bi amri. Maaf karo, maaf karo, maaf karo, maaf karo. She's your wife, she's your partner. You can't learn to do maafi to your wife. She can't learn to give maafi to the husband. You should both have forgiving nature. That's how your marriage will survive. And finally, what do we do? If there is need, get miswak or keep eating miswak. This is tafsir of Ata ibn Abi Rabah. Remember, slapping on the face is haram. It's not allowed. You can't hit anyone on the face. Right? This is why many fuqahas say boxing is not allowed. Because to knock someone out, you have to hit them on the face. So the boxing is not allowed. Wrestling might be okay, but no boxing. Right? You can't hit anyone on the face. Even your enemy in the battlefield, Huzur said, don't strike him on the face. Halanki wo dushman hai. Don't hit on the face. How can you hit your wife? Similarly, in madrasa, ustad, you can't hit a small kid on the face. Never lift your hand on the kids. My masoom kids, bichara, you just study, okay, if they don't call their parents, tell them, bhai, padho nanti baap bani ja, tame teach karo. Hame to hamaru teach kar le. But the hitting is not an option. Finally, if things don't improve, then فَبَعْثُوا حَكَمًا مِنْ أَهْلِهِ وَحَكَمًا مِنْ أَهْلِهَا إِنْ يُرِيدَا إِصْلَاحًا يُوَفِّقِ اللَّهُ بَيْنَهُمَا. Take one person from his side, one person from her side. They tell their whole story to their person, and they both sit down and try to reconcile and get rid of the differences and create unity among them. And if they have that intention to get them together, Allah will do that. Allah is saying, to the best of your ability, try and stick together, don't separate. I will finish off now. You know, yesterday I was teaching in Mishkat Sharif the hadith about shaitan and waswasa. And shaitan has his throne on the water, on the sea. And all his, battalions and armies go out, cause fitna and mischief, and then they come and give his report. So they all mention what they did, but he doesn't get happy. But one person comes and he says, I stuck to this couple and I worked hard on them until I made divorce. And Shaitan jumps up and hugs him and says, you are the best child. Yunus said, why does he get so happy at this? He said, because when two people are separated, divorce takes place, right? Then they can no longer sleep together. But the desire is, shahwat is there. Now when that shahwat erupts, they don't have anyone to sleep with, they'll do zina. So now zina will be rife within the society. And when zina is happening a lot, then awladu zina will spread as well. Illegitimate children will come in the society. And when illegitimate children are widespread in the society, the whole society will be corrupt. This is why he loves divorce so much. And if you look at the history of this city, this country, if you go back, then these people people also had their values. They had their haya, sharam, they used to dress nicely. If you look at that oldest video, maybe 100 years ago, all the women are wearing scarves and long robes and everything, even when going work. This was their behavior. But why? What happened? Why did they change? Because after World War I and World War II, all their soldiers were in the battles, wars, and the women fornicated over here, and they gave birth to illegitimate haram children, and those haram children gave birth to haram children, haram dar haram, the whole society is filled with haram children. That's what's causing all the mischief in the country. So, Allah protect our society from zina. Finally, Sheikh Yunus Sahab said, भाई शादियों को सस्ता करो, महंगा मत करो, क्योंकि शादियां जब महंगी होती हैं तो जीना सस्ता हो जाता है. Make sure your nikahs, weddings, shadis are cheap, because if you make weddings expensive, then zina will become cheap. You can get a prostitute for 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, fulfill your need, finish, full stop. And people will say, why should I get married? I can sleep with any prostitute I want. Zina is better. This is why Sheikh Saab said, nikah ko sasta karo, fuzul kharchi mat karo nikah mein, sasta karo, fatafat nikah karo. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a benefit from whatever. Allah accept from us. बच्चे वो घड़ी चाय पी रही है यार, मैं तो सोच रहा हूँ मेरे 5 मिनट है, लेकिन ये 5 6 मिनट बात है accept our sitting over here. Give us maximum benefit what has been said into your inspiration and your worship that you're inspiring us. Allah accept from us. Allah protect our deen, our iman, our haya, our modesty, our sharam, our taqwa, basically. Allah, all the youngsters over here, listening elsewhere, who are sitting alone, who are looking for suitable partners, Allah, provide most suitable partners for them and help them to settle down as quickly as possible, and Allah help them to fulfill their desire in the halal manner and protect them from haram things, and Allah give their guardians the ability to look for suitable partners and help the youngsters to get married quickly. Accept our humble du'as. With us, ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. صلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه